What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to episode 1043 of TSR Live, your daily dose of toxic masculinity, misogyny, and small dick energy. It is Tuesday, March 19th of 2024. It is good to have you guys in this afternoon. As always, we are mega streaming live simultaneously across 7 different platforms. You guys already know what they are. So however you're watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you for making the Sharpe Reality Live a part of your daily routine. Thank you guys very, very much for being here. A few announcements before we get started here. If you want to get your hands on my 3 free ebooks, 16 Ways to Immediately Disqualify Her for a Long-Term Relationship, Dead Bedroom, The Cure for a Sexless Relationship, and 14 questions she'll ask you on the first date and how to correctly respond, head on over to tsracademy.com, plug in your very best email, and those 3 ebooks packed with rock-solid, life-changing information are yours absolutely free. Again, that is tsracademy.com. Oh, wow, I forgot to pop out the chat so I can give you guys shout-outs here. Guys, you can also follow me on all over social media. I tend to post different things to different social media accounts. Every once in a while, I will have a duplicate post here and there if I think it'll play. But on Instagram, follow me at Donovan Sharpe TSR. On Facebook, just do a quick search for Donovan Sharpe and you will find me there. TikTok, which probably isn't long for the United States, at Donovan Sharpe Live. I'm pretty much banned over there anyway. And as well as X, formerly known as Twitter, at TSR Donovan. Guys, be sure to join our Discord. We have a lot of fun over there. I make announcements about upcoming live events, live streams, events, sales, new merch, and we shoot the shit about things we discuss on these podcasts. We bounce ideas off each other. It's a cool little community we have over there. Also, it's also where you can submit show ideas, show topics, etc., etc. So make sure you sign up to be on our Discord. Coming up, like I said, I will be working with the Savo brothers on their latest iteration of Red Pill Alliance Turbo. It is the first and only Red Pill NFT, which of course we learned exactly what that was the last time we had Rocky on. Gonna have new merch, cigars, merch. It's gonna be awesome. I'm actually gonna have them on tomorrow. I planned on having them on today, but my scheduling, I'm a little bit late getting on. No big deal. My scheduling was what it was. But so shout out to the Savo boys for being flexible. I will have them on just for 5-10 minutes tomorrow to discuss the progress of the NFT. Good to have everyone. Good to have everyone in here. Good to have everyone in here. Let me give a few shout outs here. Shout out to King Life, who's on the YouTube side. Says, Destiny has truly gone mad. He dyes his hair to show his emotions. No, actually, that's not really his hair. I actually got that, believe it or not, I actually got that from another live stream who shall remain nameless. Used to be a friend of the show. But yeah, got it from there. Just to sort of show where he is at mentally. Even Zooer on the YouTube side says, Lesthany is still in the RP spaces when in broad daylight the RP predicted with 110% certainty his outcome, and yet he's in denial. Oh, we will absolutely be talking about that. Drury Raven again says, what's with the new hair color? Keep Destiny away from Colorado movie theaters playing Joker. Just saying. You never know. You guys know how that goes. Pete Castle the Punisher says, good evening to Donovan and the TSR family. And while I'm doing my shout outs, guys, I will be allowing, we're going to be doing call-ins today. We're going to be doing call-ins today via StreamYard. Call-ins will be today via StreamYard. This will be after I discuss Destiny denying or going absolutely mental, talking about the red pill is dead. I'd like to know your opinions, if you agree, disagree. But keep in mind, guys, I am not going to bring you on if your camera is off. And the first few seconds of your interaction will be muted until I am confident that you are not there to troll. You can disagree, we can have a spirited discussion, but if you're going to filibuster and troll and all that good and all that good stuff, I don't want any part of that. This has to be, I mean, this has to provide, you know, value to some degree. So make sure that camera is on. Make sure that camera is on. Make sure I can see and hear you very, very clearly. If at any point during our conversation your camera goes off for whatever reason, you will be summarily booted and asked to not return. Really be told not to return, to be quite honest with you. Doing the Kevin Samuels. I'm gonna go the Kevin Samuels route in that regard, just to make sure to keep things nice and civil. So I'm gonna give you guys a chance to have your voices be heard. Whether you agree or disagree, that's fine. I don't mind talking to people who disagree with me, as long as we keep it respectful and keep it cordial. Just like Kevin Samuels used to say, if you're nice to me, I will be nice to you. Shout out to Embark on Brilliance, says, I guess redheads these days. Not really. King Life is in the house, double dipping. Saber89 says, good day, mates. Myron is a great, oh my God. Myron is a great song in person. I have no idea what that is. I have no idea what that is. Says the reason Destiny is denying his L is because it goes against every argument he has ever had against red pillars. Absolutely. We've already got somebody waiting to come on, but I'm not going to start bringing people on until after my soliloquy. And again, I'm going to put the... Oops, sorry about that. I'm going to put the... I've put the link. I've pinned the StreamYard link in the chat on both sides. Okay, so let's go ahead and get... Actually, I was not completely prepared. I still need to queue. Oh, okay, there's the Pearl video. Okay, I just want to make sure. Give me a second. There we go. And I will put that over here because I am effing brilliant. How about that? I just figured that. I was like, wait a minute, I forgot to put in the Pearl video. What am I going to do? We do it live, guys, but, yep, there it is. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right, good. Good. Excellent. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. So, about a week and a half ago, Destiny was on with Chris Williamson discussing whether or not the red pill is dying. And I'm going to react to most of that interview in just a moment. But, as you guys just saw, I want to play a clip from yesterday's live stream when the lovely and talented Pearl Davis, friend of the show, friend of my wife, made an appearance and answered this very question. Let's take a look and listen. See the Manosphere, because this is a question that I get from people all the time. Where do you see the Manosphere in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? What are your thoughts just on the state of the Manosphere? Are we going to be around for a while? What are your thoughts?
Oh, it's never going to go anywhere.
Okay.
Never.
Okay.
Men will always compare notes about women.
Okay.
I mean, they'll find a way to talk. I mean, you can maybe censor them online, but
Sure.
they'll make their own websites and they'll get talking. I could see maybe some people getting kicked off.
Okay.
I think that's possible, but
Okay.
I think they'll just come right back on. That's what I kept hearing. The Manosphere is dead. The red pill is dying.
Right.
But it's not going anywhere. Modern women are going to keep being modern, and men are going to keep seeking solutions.
That's right.
That's where the red pill comes in. Unlike women, they're actually trying to solve stuff.
Yeah. Now, I will admit that I have said several times over the years that the Manosphere is dying or that the Manosphere won't be around in a few years. But every time I make this declaration, it seems to come back, the Manosphere, stronger in some way, shape, or form. That's the way that usually works, right? I remember disagreeing with MLD about why the Manosphere, or about the Manosphere dying or being irrelevant way back in 2018. Way back in 2018. We've been having these discussions for years. This is nothing new. I think that's pretty obvious. MLD said it wasn't going anywhere, and I said it would be gone by 2020. I was dead wrong then. Then in 2021, I had this discussion with Myron and Fresh on the 6th, where I once again said the Manosphere isn't going to be around for much longer because of all the infighting and divisiveness. Then, of course, less than a year later, Fresh and Fit took off, and it's been a rocket ship to the moon ever since. Once again, I was wrong. Well, what Pearl said yesterday really resonated with me when she said that men will never stop seeking solutions. And guys, she is 346% correct. It is in a man's nature to seek solutions. It is in our nature to solve problems. It's in our nature to share information with other men about how to navigate anything in life, whether it's work, family, relationships, etc. So no, the Manosphere isn't going anywhere, and it never will. And here's something I thought about earlier today. We're all well aware that the red pill is simply a response to feminism. Okay? It represents the solutions to the issues that radical feminism has created over the last, 7+ decades. I talk all the time about how people in this community do nothing but complain about women. They complain about women being able to vote. Got news for you guys. Nobody's repealing the 19th Amendment. The toothpaste is out of the tube and it's not going back in. I've also talked about how men like to complain about how we need to go back to 1950. Got more news for you. Unless you're Doc Brown and you've got a DeLorean that can travel through time when it hits 88 miles an hour, the 1950s have come and gone, and they ain't coming back. Well, it's the same with feminism. Feminism isn't going anywhere, guys. It is entrenched in the very fabric of our nation. The only way feminism goes away completely is if America goes away. And whether or not that actually happens, I know one thing. That neither of those things is going to happen in my lifetime. Well, guess what? Neither is the Manosphere. The Manosphere might not be as widespread as feminism. It might not get the same publicity as feminism, and heaven knows we face censorship on a level never seen really in American history. But as long as feminism is around, so will the red pill. Just like Pearl said, we as men, we are never going to stop sharing notes. We are never going to stop sharing information. We're never going to stop seeking solutions. We are men. This is what we do. So I can admit when I'm wrong. And I was dead wrong on the eventual demise of the Manosphere. Now, will the Manosphere evolve over time? Absolutely. Might it be referred to by different names or monikers? Possibly. But the fabric of the Manosphere is male. And as men, we have an indelible desire to seek solutions to the problems we face here in the West. And because of that, the red pill is not going anywhere. So I stand corrected on that. All of that said, let's go ahead and react to Destiny's interview with Chris Williamson. Okay.
It's dying. That's something that both of us... Do you think the red pill's dying? That's something that both of us have spent a little bit of time orbiting in one form or another, either you debating it or me getting abused by it. What do you think's happening with the red pill at the moment?
Yeah, I think most stuff has probably a 2 to 4 year shelf life for internet content. And I think it kind of came and it kind of went.
He said it kind of came and it kind of went. This is wishful thinking at best, willful ignorance at worst. Look around, guys. Some of the biggest channels on YouTube are either red pill or red pill adjacent to some degree. Fresh and Fit, Pearl Davis, the late great Kevin Samuels, and of course the biggest piece being Andrew Tate. Now I know a lot of you will say that Andrew Tate says he's not red pill and that he said that the red pill is for dorks and all that stuff, and that's fine. But you can't deny that the talking points he espouses are absolutely red pill based. He and others may label it differently, but fundamentally, the message of Andrew Tate is 681% red pill. Call it whatever you want. But there's a reason why our audiences overlap, and that cannot be denied. I'm not going to sit here and argue semantics on what we call this and what we call that. Red pill, blue pill, black pill, this pill, that pill, whatever pill. Andrew and Tristan Tate, two of the most famous and now infamous men in the world, preach the same message we do here in the Manosphere. So for Destiny to say that it, quote unquote, kind of came and went, that is categorically false. These channels are still thriving and men are still looking for answers again. This is wishful thinking and an extremely feminine mindset. If I say it's come and gone, then it must have come and gone. That's nonsense and he knows it. This is 100% cope and nothing more. Let's continue.
Andrew Tate and the pre-trial or pre-indictment imprisonment probably hurt a bit because it took away a lot of the publicity. I think that the nature of like the conversations for the red pill stuff, I think was really bad. I think the content strategy from a lot of the red pillars, I think was very subpar.
How so?
For me, the way that I've stayed fresh and relevant for 15 years of content creation is because I'm always finding like new stuff to talk about or a new angle to kind of like hit something from, or like I'm kind of moving on with contemporary events. I feel like for red pill stuff, I feel like I could have written the script for those shows after being on 2 of them, to where it's like, okay guys, today we're going to talk about, does body count matter? Do guys value you for the amount of money that you make? Do women fuck over men in divorce? Are men lonely because they're simps? It was like the same topics for like over a year, such that it became like a meme where when I would show up on a show, some of my friends would do like bingo cards of like, okay, well, when is the body count question coming up?
Hypergamy, body count. Guess what? Guess what, gentlemen? Destiny is right. He is absolutely right. Yes, we've made the same talking points for years. Yes, these talking points are predictable, and yes, it is a bit like playing bingo at times. That's actually a pretty good analogy. But there is a reason we regurgitate this stuff again and again and again and again and again. And that's because it's true, number one. And today's men need to see the truth verified over and over again so that it sinks in and becomes second nature in our mentality. People complain all the time about how Fresh and Fit uses the same talking points with the girls: body count, hypergamy, money, status, clout, etc. And once again, the critics are right. They do use the same talking points with the girls, and you can predict what the subject matter is going to be. And you want to know what? Men, we can't get enough of it. Why? Because like our relationships, we as men, we like consistency and predictability. You see, what Destiny is missing here, gentlemen, is that the Manosphere is here to educate men. The red pill is designed to give men answers to their problems in the dating market. Its objective is to arm men with the knowledge that they need to avoid the kinds of relationship disasters that have destroyed men for decades. Now, is there an element of entertainment involved? Absolutely. Nobody's going to care what you have to say if you're not entertaining to some degree. You could be the most knowledgeable person in the world on any given topic, but if you can't deliver it in such a way that keeps the audience engaged, then the message can only get so far and can only resonate with so many people. Myron's got his hats that he likes to use to make fun of people, with just about everybody. Chris, he puts on the ski mask when another ratchet says that she's a rapper. I've got my gimmicks like the hashtag SFNY and so on and so forth. We're all keenly aware that in order to gain a following, we have to be entertaining to some degree. Not to the point to where we're just acting like clowns all the time, but look, we're all going to sit here and admit we love it when Myron does his Pennywise dance or when Fresh puts his nasty ass feet on the table. But the main purpose of this community is to educate men. And this is where there is a disconnect here with Destiny. Destiny is an entertainer, gentlemen, and he is conflating the standard of the entertainer to the standard of the educator. And that is where he is missing the mark here. You see, he makes money playing video games to entertain his audience. And to that end, as an entertainer, you have to keep it fresh, you have to look for new ideas, and you have to always be evolving. Nothing ever works the same way forever and ever and ever. There is always going to be a need to change your style in some way, shape, or form in order to stay relevant as an entertainer. So, of course, a guy like Destiny, whose shtick is entertainment, points out the monotony of Red Pill talking points because he is an entertainer. But like Ethan Klein said the other day, there is no overlap between our audiences. There's a reason for that. If you're a Destiny fan, you hate the Red Pill. If you're an Ethan Klein fan, you're anti-Manosphere. If you're an Abba Preach fan, you're anti-Fresh and Fit. You're in favor of paying for box and anti-male. And yes, Ethan was absolutely right. There is almost zero overlap between our followers. Their followers want entertainment, gossip, video games, and arguments dressed up as debates. This is all low IQ stuff, guys. I will say it again. This is all low IQ entertainment. Their followers are straight up low IQ and are always looking for the next shiny thing to keep them entertained. Our followers want information about the dating market and to be educated about how to navigate it without falling victim to the many pitfalls that comes with dealing with modern women romantically or otherwise. And to that end, there is a big difference in our objectives and our delivery. So when Destiny says the Manosphere content strategy is bad, he's dead-ass wrong. Fresh and Fit have had the same show with the same formula for 3 years running. And they routinely draw 30, 40, and sometimes even 50,000 live viewers, and that number continues to climb. Kevin Samuels did the same show for 2 years with women calling in and getting dunked on by him. We couldn't get enough. Guys, I've been doing reactions since 2020, and people still tune in. In fact, I had stopped for a while until just recently, and surprise, surprise, my numbers and audience is coming back. Destiny's statement applies to his audience. It applies to Ethan's audience. It applies to Abba and Preach's audience. Their followers want to be constantly entertained, which is low IQ. The Manosphere audience wants information. It wants to be educated. It wants solutions. We want to live better lives. We want to be in better shape. We want to make more money, and we want better relationships with our women. We want to be better men, and we want to be better men. And that's the main reason there's almost no overlap with our audiences. Destiny's assessment here is simple projection. His low IQ audience needs the bright, shiny object. His low IQ audience needs the next big scandal to point to and laugh at. Ethan Klein's low IQ audience needs constant stimuli to stay engaged. Abba and Preach's low IQ audience wants all the gospel and drama about who's doing what and who's exposed. If the Manosphere prioritized entertaining rather than educating, then Destiny's spot on. But our fans are not low IQ losers who are looking for the next shiny new thing to watch. Oh no. Our followers are men who are looking to better their lives and maybe have a few laughs along the way.
Hypergamy.
Or, yeah, are women hypergamous or not? And then it's like, and it's funny because like the questioning would always, there's a fallacy called all roads lead to Rome, I think. If there's not, there should be one. Where basically, literally, no matter how somebody answers a question, it always goes back to what you want it to. So I might say to a girl, have you ever dated a guy, you say you don't care if guys at all, have you ever dated a guy that's 5'5"? And the girl might be like, no, I haven't. Because you hate short guys, you know? You won't. And she's like, oh, no. Okay, have you ever dated a guy that's 5'5"? Yes, I have. Oh, when? When I was in high school, I actually did a guy that's 5'5". Really? Are you together anymore with him? Well, no. Oh, you dumped him because he was a short king, right? Like, yeah. Or it's like, are you dating a guy that's 5'5"? It's like, yeah, I am now. It's like, oh, really? Is he rich? No, he's not that rich. Does he have a huge dick? Yeah, his dick is pretty big. Oh, hypergamous. You just want the pool boy. You're probably gonna, find a rich guy and still fuck. Like, there's always a Andrew.
Gentlemen, this guy isn't drinking Coca-Cola. This dude is now snorting cocaine. Let me repeat that. Destiny has escalated from drinking Coca-Cola to snorting cocaine. What this idiot just tried to characterize as the all roads lead to Rome proverb is quite simply admitting that what we talk about here is the truth. All roads don't lead to Rome, Stephen, but all roads eventually lead to the truth, and that is what you're in denial about, my friend. He's trying to sell everyone on our confirmation bias, as if to imply that no matter what the situation is, We want the conclusion to lead to the conclusion that we want it to, and that is simply not true. Do you think we like the fact that women are hypergamous and will leave for any reason or no reason at all? Do you think we like being assholes to women to get them to respect us? Did you think we liked coming to the realization that our parents gave us terrible information about dating and relationships? Do you think we like the fact that 90% of men are sexually invisible to 90% of modern women? Do you think we like the fact that there are a disproportionate amount of young, attractive women who are sex workers and do OnlyFans? Do you think that we like that dating in the modern world is a shit show? Of course not. Me personally, I don't know about you guys, but I would love to live in a world where women, actually reciprocated gentlemanly treatment with respect. I personally would love to live in a world where approaching a woman you find attractive isn't looked at as predatory or creepy. I would love to live in a world where men and women's dating strategies aren't naturally opposed to one another. We want our women to be fit, feminine, friendly, and faithful. We want to treat our women with love and respect. We want men to have successful relationships with women without having to play mind games all the time to avoid being taken advantage of. Part of being a man is accepting the truth, even if it's hard to accept. And most men in this community, the red pill community, we're all familiar with the anger phase of the red pill, right? It's very difficult to comprehend our talking points because it goes directly against everything we've ever been taught about women in relationships. And the truth is that a lot of men never really make it out of the anger phase. They have a very, very difficult time grappling with the truth about the way things really are. They realize that they can't unsee what they've just seen. And when they discover that they can't spit the red pill back up, they essentially react like Neo on the Nebuchadnezzar when Morpheus showed him the way the world really worked. You guys remember what happened? He threw up and passed out. But when he woke up, Neo was still on the Nebuchadnezzar. The point is, gentlemen, is that we don't like that the red pill is necessary. We don't take joy in the fact that relationships are circling the drain. We don't relish in the fact that most women in this part of the world are hoes, but we accept it and we seek solutions to survive and thrive in it. This is what men do. Destiny is trying to use an age-old proverb to tell the world that we big bad misogynists love the fact that most modern women are no longer worth committing to. No, Stephen, we don't love that at all. We abhor it and everything that comes with it, but we accept it no matter how difficult it is to accept. And the truth is that no, most modern women don't want to date a guy who's 5'5" unless he's rich, has clout, and is good in bed. The truth is that all women are hypergamous because they have to be. It is a survival instinct. It is in their firmware. This is how women are. And Destiny's showing his frustration here because when women are actually questioned about why they make the romantic choices they make, or why they end their relationships, or why they're looking for a certain kind of man, to a woman, their fundamental nature is on full display for all the world to see. And surprise, surprise, they all operate the same way. This dude is just mad because the truth is proven over and over again. Myron and Fresh have interviewed over 3,000 women from around the world, night after night. And every single night, their true nature is front and center. Destiny's just upset that he's proven wrong, most notably by his own ex-wife, Melina. We told this dude what would happen in his relationship, and it happened. But instead of taking his L with dignity, he's coping with this all roads lead to Rome nonsense to hold out just a little bit of hope that maybe, just maybe, he had a special unicorn who just happened to fall into the clutches of a toxic, controlling, abusive man in a dress who manipulated her into leaving him. The bottom line here is that all roads don't lead to Rome, Stephen, but all roads most definitely lead to the truth. And that feral slut you were dumb enough to marry proved that what we predicted about her and women like her when she absolutely humiliated you by allowing another man to live in her an apartment that you paid for, who she ultimately left you for, proves that once again. So keep denying this. Keep denying the truth, Destiny. You're making yourself look more and more foolish by the day.
Tate actually is the perfect example of the all roads lead to Rome, okay? When Andrew Tate had the pretrial imprisonment, there were never going to be charges because it was all a scam. It was just a sham kangaroo court. Now that there are charges, if there wouldn't have been charges and he would have been released with no charges, no indictment, it was because obviously it was a scam, right? But now that there are charges, well, obviously, because it's a scam. Of course, they're going to make up charges. So now they're going to go to court, and if they go to court and they get, if they go to court and they beat the charges, it's because it was bullshit the whole time. But if they go to court and they're convicted, well, it's because it's bullshit the whole time. They were going to make it up always. So literally, no matter what happens, it's always because of your particular prediction of the world. So you end up with these prediction models that will predict every single event, which means they don't actually predict anything, but it allows you to escape the cognitive dissonance of your predictive model not being correct. So you don't have to worry if you've got a good view, like a good blueprint of the world, because literally no matter what happens, you've always got a way to make sense of it in the future.
Holy moly, boy, that was impressive mental gymnastics. You've always got a way to make sense of it in the future. Well, yeah, Destiny, that's what the truth tends to do. The truth tends to make sense. This numbskull just rattled off a bunch of bimbo babble, trying to rationalize and explain away why the truth is always the obvious conclusion. And that truth is that female nature transcends everything. It transcends race, it transcends class, it transcends socioeconomic status, it transcends nationality, it transcends everything. It doesn't matter where she lives or how she was raised. Female nature will always win out in the end. And Destiny's upset that we can always point to female nature as an explanation for their actions. He even just inadvertently admitted that it makes sense because he's frustrated that it makes sense. And I'll tell you guys a personal story that illustrates what Destiny is doing here. January 28th, 1996. Super Bowl 30, Cowboys versus Steelers. I was home for the weekend from college to work and watch the game with my brothers. Now, the night before the Super Bowl, my mother and her then boyfriend got into a huge fight about him cheating on her. It was the usual knockdown, drag out. You cheated on me. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. Blah, 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 blah. Well, the argument ends up outside in the parking lot where my mom took a baseball bat or something long and heavy. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's probably a baseball bat. And she tried to bash in the windshield of his car. Well, he stops her, but she still manages to get a couple of good licks in on the hood and gave it a few pretty good dents. Fast forward to about the third quarter of Super Bowl 30 the next day. My mom storms into the room where me and my brothers were watching the game. She turns off the TV and starts airing me out about why I didn't confront her then ex-boyfriend about cheating on her. Keep in mind, I'm an 18-year-old college kid, and my mom's boyfriend was a grown-ass man in his late 30s who was a 6'3", former Division III college basketball player. Was a big fucking dude. Plus, I actually liked the guy because, I don't know, he taught me how to drive. Literally taught me how to drive. I know how to drive a stick shift because of this guy. He'd been with my mom for a few years, so naturally we developed a pretty good relationship. Before I actually bought my car, he used to drive me back and forth to school. But here my mother is telling me I should have confronted a grown-ass man about their relationship issues. So I told her, Mom, you are always telling us to stay out of grown folks' business, and now you're asking me to confront a grown man who I have a good relationship about something that doesn't concern me? Well, my mother got extremely angry. She knocked the TV off the dresser, which broke it, and then she says, don't you sit there and disrespect me by trying to reason everything out. You were wrong. And she leaves the room. My mother was upset that what I said made perfect sense, but she needed someone to be pissed off at now that he wasn't there anymore. And when I explained to her why it was a bad idea to confront this grown-ass man, she lost her temper and ruined the Super Bowl for us. Destiny's mad that we're right, gentlemen. That is all this is. And what makes him even more upset is that it's actually starting to make more sense to him. But because he can't admit to himself or others that, hey, you know what? These Manosphere guys might have been right about a few things. He engages in female mental gymnastics to explain why we always come to the same conclusion, which is that modern women gonna modern women. In the end, guys, it's become very clear that the red pill is beginning to sink in with Destiny. He's coming up with more and more far-fetched explanations and theories to convince himself that what we talk about here isn't true. I've said before, guys, Guys like Destiny don't want to get it right. They want to be right. Well, the problem with that is that you're never seeking the truth. You're only looking for ways to disagree with everybody. But eventually, we all learn that the red pill is real. Most men discover the manosphere because of heartbreak, sexual frustration, or some combination of both. And when you deal with women long enough, romantically or otherwise, it is a mathematical inevitability that you will eventually see the truth about female nature. And what you do with this revelation really depends upon a lot of factors, but one thing is undeniable. Women are not changing in this environment. In this current climate, women are always going to be hypergamous. They're always going to make excuses for their bad behavior. They're always going to avoid accountability, and they are always going to blame others for their romantic failures. Burying your head in the sand and pretending it doesn't exist doesn't do you any favors. In fact, it makes things worse, as Destiny just recently discovered firsthand what with the shenanigans Melina pulled that ultimately ended their joke of a relationship. But there's one more reason Destiny continues to renounce the red pill. And that is that it's bad for business. You see, guys, the more men focus on improving themselves physically, mentally, and sometimes even spiritually, the less time they have to sit around and watch some blue-haired clown play video games and talk about nothing. The more men focus on self-improvement and bettering their situation in life, the less time they have to sit around and watch a fat fuck like Ethan Klein run off at the mouth about how great his life is, despite the fact that his whore of a wife has cheated on him at least twice that we know of. The more men make themselves their own mental point of origin and work to make more money, have better options and a better life, the less time they have to watch a couple of dildos like Abba and Preach talk about the benefits of paying for box and talking shit about the men they envy. Guys, this is why there's so much pushback against us. When men wake up and start living for themselves, they no longer want to sedate themselves with mindless entertainment, gossip, and hatred towards men who are actually trying to help them. What sense does that make? So yeah, of course Destiny is going to say this community is dying because it's financially advantageous for him to do so. The more men we inspire to be winners in life, the less losers there are to subscribe to their channels. The red pill isn't going anywhere, gentlemen. I thought it was. I was wrong. And as long as men like Destiny, Abba, Preach, and Ethan Klein are around to try to convince men that it's okay to be a loser and be satisfied with an unsatisfactory and unfulfilled life, the Manosphere will continue to thrive well into the future. All right, very good. Let me read these super chats and then we'll start bringing you guys on for discussions. Once again, guys, if you want to jump in on the discussion, I'm going to put the link in the chat. I'm going to put the link in both chats. The Rumble, I'm going to put this in Rumble as well as YouTube. If you want to jump on, and discuss, pardon me, there is the link. Now, again, there are rules to this, okay? You're not just going to come on and just run off at the mouth. Number one, if your camera is not on, you ain't getting on. Number two, the audience will not hear you until I decide they hear you. That is just to make sure that we are free of all the shenanigans in the games. All right, let me start off on the YouTube side and get to some of these super chats. Lily Zero with the $5 super chat says, Steven is going to get a rude awakening. If his son takes and applies the crimson pill, that would be the ultimate last laugh. No, Steven's son is, Destiny's son's name is Nathan, right? And Nathan looks like a cute kid. He really, really does. But I hope he finds the red pill. I don't hope that Destiny's son finds and ingests the red pill just to say, no, man. Doesn't matter who you are as a man. It doesn't matter if you're Destiny himself or Destiny's son. The more men take the red pill, the better off we will all be. That's what I agree with. Let's see here. Plenty of Rumble rants coming in. Marriage causes divorce with the $2 super chat says, Ethan Klein fans coming to the red pill after divorce and child custody. Yeah, you got that right. Saber59 with the $5 Rumble rant says, the problem I see the most when people criticize Fresh and Fit is the after-hour show, but they never talk about the value they bring to men and young men during the daytime shows. Well, exactly. They want to focus on the negative. Manhanser Game says he is such a bitter biatch. He cannot fit in with men, so he has to hate on them. He will never have the masculinity to act like a man, and I think he is always man-strating. Well, look, man, I'm not gonna sit here and berate or belittle who Destiny is on the inside, at least not to that degree. But you are certainly entitled to his opinion. All right, so I've got a Joshua and a Josh. Then we've got another single mom. Single mom, you better change your name, buddy. I'm not letting you on until you change your name, brother. Sorry. All right, Josh, you are on with Donovan. What would you like to talk about?
What's going on, Donovan?
What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm out here driving. I'm doing Uber, so I'm kind of doing these 2 things at the same time. But yeah, for one, I just want to say I really appreciate what you do. Like you really are. I don't know if anybody's religious, but you really are doing the Lord's work. Like this stuff that you do, you take out your time and to commit to doing this to help us out, to help young man, older man out. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
I think everybody in the chat does as well.
Good.
But yeah, I don't know. Destiny has always been like, he's always been weird to me. Like besides the fact that like you sit here and you are the like people say the ultimate contrarian, like how you have no actual belief, and then how everything in his mind is wrong. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But then to live your life in a certain way, and when you understand, because one thing that I've learned, like I'm young, but one thing that I've learned is when you think you know something, life is going to teach you the exact opposite.
That's right.
Like I make mistakes just about every single day. So it's kind of, it is weird to see a man, like a grown man, you're obviously doing something wrong. Like something is obviously going wrong.
Yeah.
Like and it's okay to make mistakes, but it's just like I don't understand how you can't hold yourself accountable.
Why do you think
it's kind of weird?
Why do you think Destiny is so reticent to just admit, hey, you know what? There are certain tenets about the red pill that are correct. Why do you think he keeps doubling down, even though he learned firsthand that what we talk about here is real? We predicted what would happen almost to the letter, and he still will not admit, okay, these guys might know what they're talking about.
Like you always say, it's because he wants to be right. Right. He can't not be right. Like, I think he more so wants everybody else to be wrong. Okay. Versus him being right.
Okay.
I wish that I can explain it, but honestly, I don't think it's no logical reason to why he can't just say, damn, I might have made a mistake. Like, this person might have been right. Like, I wish I could come up with an explanation. But it's just, I don't know. Destiny, he kind of, it's kind of weird. He's doing his own thing. I mean, he's more successful than I am. But oh man, it's like I just kind of have to. If it wasn't for the red pill and y'all watching him and stuff, I wouldn't even know who Destiny is. I got to stay away from people like that.
Absolutely. I'll give you the last word on this. What do you think, if anything, would finally get Destiny to publicly just say, hey, you know what? I was wrong. These guys are, these guys actually might know what they're talking about. Or do you think it will never happen?
Yeah, hell gonna have to freeze over. It's not gonna happen. Yeah. That's the only way. Because there's no way that multiple people have sat there and predicted what was going to happen. It's like y'all looking into a crystal ball and y'all like, all right, Destiny, this is your future. This is what's gonna happen. This is usually what's gonna happen. And he still can't seem to accept that. So yeah, I don't think there's anything that can happen in the future that's going to change his mind, or that's going to make him say, yeah, I was wrong.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you for chiming in, man. I appreciate you chiming in, Josh.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
No problem, buddy. Take care. All right. Thank you. Thanks to Josh for chiming in. Let me read a couple of super chats here. Josh, if you would, go ahead and drop off. So Scott B with the Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to have to remove him. There we are. There we go. Scott B with the $5 super chat says the red pill has grown the last several years. There are dozens of quote Manosphere channels. It wouldn't surprise me if you found hundreds of them. Yeah, that's one of the that's sort of one of the advantages and disadvantages of this community is that we are how can I put this? Is that it's deregulated, right? It's deregulated, and there we go. It's deregulated, and which means that, nobody gatekeeps, right? Anybody can talk about whatever they want to talk about. And so because we have so many guys out here with channels flying the flag of the Manosphere, and a lot of them just talk a bunch of nonsense, those are the guys that our critics and detractors like to point to. See, the Manosphere, they are women haters. Destiny even says it a little bit later on in this interview. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that right now. Listen to what he continues to talk about here.
Well, this is why that 4-step process of when was the last time someone publicly admitted that they were wrong? When was the last time they surprised you?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, Christopher. Destiny needs to admit that he got it wrong. You see, when's the last time somebody from the Manosphere admitted that they were wrong? Dude, we admit when we're wrong all the time, man. At least I do. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I've gotten everything right over the years. Man, I'm 46 years old, guys. I'm 46 years old. I've been in this community since I was 36. I've been in this community for over 10 years. I published my very first article on Return of Kings 10 years ago. 10 years ago, what was it? 10 years ago last Wednesday or somewhere in there. So yes, with new information, and things are always changing. Shout out to the Underground King Alpha Male Strategies. He actually just released a video. One of his patrons asked, hey man, what's the difference in dating between 2013 and 2023? And I was like, wow, that's a really good question. A lot has changed in a very short period of time. Things are changing in the dating world exponentially now. This time next year, the dating world might not even look the same. It might not even be the same creature. Very, very, very good. That was a very good video by Alpha Male Strategies. And so if things have changed that much in such a short period of time, then of course you have to expect me to at least alter some of my views in 10 years. Well, Donovan, back in 2017, you said this, but now you say why? Well, yes. I'm older and I've learned a little bit more, and I reserve the right to change my mind about certain things. But fundamentally, I ain't changing. Modern women are gonna modern woman. That is all there is to it. Let me read a couple of these chats because you guys are really doing really well in the chats. Marriage causes divorce as Chad Williamson versus Destiny. I don't know who that is. I apologize. Let's see here. Who else do we have? Suffix Finest says Ab and Preach have their gimmick, pretending not to be a couple is theirs. I guess. Oh, Jesus Christ. That went completely over my head. Yep. That went completely over my head. Sorry about that. Flex4LX says Rule Zero Red Pill died in 2020 after a pandemic pickup. The new economy forced 304s to sell box, while the rise in dating apps and sugar sites raised women's standards. Fresh and Fit, whatever, and Pearl are the new RP. Hey man. Flex4LX says CGA is number one for MGTOW. Donovan number one for RP Radio. But yeah, the Great Reset affected dating too. Yeah, it did. Yeah, the pandemic definitely made things very, 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 very difficult. Very, very difficult for women. Enhance game. Love the fact that I called Melina a feral slut. I mean, well, that's what she is. She's feral. You think she's? I mean, do you think she's going to stick with this guy Tim forever? No. We all watched her branch swing from one guy to Destiny, and then we just watched her branch swing from Destiny to this guy. What makes Tim think he's special? You know what I mean? She's going to do the same thing to him that she did to Destiny. She's going to do the same thing to, she did the same thing to her ex. I forgot what his name was. Some Swedish guy. Whatever the case may be. Marriage causes divorce as Destiny. I married Melina because I love her. Destiny, I divorced Melina because we fell out of love. All roads lead to Destiny. Hydro3120 says he did a video on you, Donovan. Saw it in the recommended YouTube videos. Dude, everybody does videos on me, man. I'm sure he did a video on me. If he did, fine. Whatever. Great, awesome. Keep doing videos on Donovan. It ain't nothing new. I don't trip off that stuff. I focus on the content that I'm making. I'm not getting into internet beefs. That's not what I do. Not anymore, anyway. Marriage causes divorce says hope his son finds the red pill before a divorce or child custody battle. Yeah, we'll see. We will see. Marriage causes divorce. $2 Rumble Rant says Destiny is pandering to his audience. He has to keep his audience happy. He has child support to pay. Listen, Destiny's a millionaire, but he wants to keep the bag. That's why he has to continue to renounce the red pill. Like I said in my opening salvo, man, it is financially advantageous to be anti-red pill. Roblox85 says all these guys that used to do gaming, guns, or gains talk about male-female dynamics. He's flat out lying. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Let's watch a little bit more.
Someone came out and had a discussion about this and was like, do you know what it is? I actually think that a lot of the time I do actually see girls in relationships with guys that hypergamously I wouldn't predict that they were in a relationship with. That guy just seems to have game. It's not really about the fact that he's tall or fit or rich or has status or any of these things. He just seems to be like a really nice guy and she wants to have a family and
No, buddy. Sorry, Chris. Nope. Do you see what Chris just did? You see what Chris just did? He's telling us, well, I've seen people. He's giving us that answer. Well, I know people. I've seen people where there's a sexual market value discrepancy very, very wide. And I look at him funny. And you know what? It's just that the guy has game, which makes sense. Game trumps all. Money, looks, and status get you in the door, but game is what keeps her around. Game is what keeps her submissive to you. Game is what keeps her respect. But then he turns around and tries to slip it in there and say, but really it was just that he was a nice guy and she wanted a family. No, Chris, you cannot be a nice guy and have game with modern women here in 2024. Sorry, they are not one and the same. Do you see how he just tried to slip that in there? Watch. He tried to say that the guy had game and then tried to conflate game with being a nice guy and her wanting a family. Nope. Sorry, Chris. Caught you.
Relationship with. That guy just seems to see girls in relationships with guys that... know what it is? I actually think that a lot of the time I do actually see girls in relationships with guys that hypergamously I wouldn't predict that they were in a relationship with.
Of course you wouldn't.
Guy just seems to have game. It's not...
The guy just seems to have game. Now listen.
Really about the fact that he's tall or fit or rich or has status or any of these things. He just seems to be like a really nice guy.
Yeah, he seems to be a really nice guy. No, sorry, buddy. Sorry, Chris. Not letting you get away with that one. Not letting you get away with that one, buddy. Nice try. Nice try. No, fam. Nice guys finish last, Chris. And you know it. Nice guys and game are not synonymous. You cannot conflate nice guys with game.
And she wants to have a family.
And she wants to have a family. And she wants to have a family. Well, guess what? The woman has something to do with that. The woman has something to do with that. Dude, most women want to have families. Most women want to procreate. But it takes the right man to get them to want to. And most women want families without even having a man. They dream about this since they're little girls.
He ends up being, I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, stop it. You weren't expecting that? See, this right here, this pretend surprise, this is 100% bullshit. Chris, come on, man. I wasn't expecting that. A short, ugly guy is with this beautiful top-tier woman, and it has nothing to do with the fact that he is tall, rich, or handsome. The guy just has game. He was a nice guy, and she wanted a family. Chris, it doesn't work that way, buddy. And you know it. You know it. This guy is acting like he just disproved the red pill because he's telling us that he knows people who are dating with a substantial sexual market discrepancy who are happy because the guy was a nice guy and she wanted a family. Chris, stop it. Stop it.
I wasn't expecting that.
Of course
that was something that would have surprised me.
Something that would have... No, that's not something that would have surprised you, Chris. You just made up a story. Stop it. Now this dude is lying. Dude, you're the interviewer, man. Like, what are you doing? You're supposed to ask that guy questions, but now you're going to feed into his bullshit too? Come on.
Well, that shows an evolution of talking points, but I don't know how many times, and this is why, still fascinated in evolutionary psychology and intersexual and intrasexual dynamics and all of that stuff. It's still very interesting to me.
Yeah, it's interesting, but that doesn't make you an expert. Do you see how he just tried to cover himself there? Well, I'm interested in evolutionary biology and sociology. You know what? So are all of us. So are all of us. That doesn't make your story any less false.
But the whole, like, lambasting women for having standards that are too high, that never was something that really crossed my world of content creation. But even now it's...
So, just because it didn't cross your world of content creation does not make it any less valid. Yes, Chris, modern women do have unrealistic dating standards. Now, they can have any standard they want. It's, do they deserve what they want? Women talk all the time. I want a guy who is, 6'6". That's fine. You can want whatever you want. Do you deserve it? Are you in that league? Can you attract a man like that? Can you keep a man like that? Ken Rose with the $5 Rumble rant. Appreciate that very much. Gives us a thumbs up. Pardon me. Saber89 with the $1 Rumble rant says, if men had a lawyer like Matlock, they would never lose in divorce and custody cases. Saber, 95% of people have no idea who you're talking about, but I'm with you. Suffix Finest says, this guy Chris is arguing like a woman. Well, I know this one exception, so that means you're all wrong. No, he actually covered himself. I've seen several, come on, Chris. Chris, stop it, man. This dude is going to sit here that he has seen several couples where there is a dispute. So you mean to tell me you sat down and interviewed all these couples? You know what? You're a couple that seems to have a pretty stark sexual market discrepancy. Let me sit down with you guys and talk about the reason you guys are together. So you did that and you expected the woman to be honest with you? Listen, you're with Mike, but I mean, Mike is not the most attractive guy in the world, but he does have a net worth of $8 billion. I'm sure that didn't have anything to do with you choosing him. Oh no, I fell in love with his heart, not his wallet. No, man. It's a survival instinct. Women are supposed to be hypergamous. If women weren't hypergamous, we'd have even more bastard kids running around. Mike Steele with the $5 super chat says they completely ignore the core. We want to level up all our aspects because by doing so, it increases our chances. It does not guarantee anything. Absolutely. Sean Morris says, Rolo rips Chris apart all the time. Rolo rips everybody apart.
Okay, so what else is happening? How can here's an interesting angle. Here's a much more interesting angle for me for something that's contemporary and new. This skew of young girls to the left and this skew of young guys to the right. Uh-huh. Given the fact that most people date within their political affiliation, and because politics are becoming more important to each individual person now, that's interesting. That's like a new. Okay, so what do we do? Where's this coming from, and what does?
Yeah, Chris, I'm sure that's interesting. I'm sure that's interesting to you, but politics have very little to do with dating preferences. Like, I don't know what he's talking about here. This is just him filling up the. This is him just filling up the air.
Does this mean 30% of Democrat parents are afraid that their son or daughter would marry a Republican? That's interesting. So what about like parental pressure and how does that play into it?
Yeah, Chris. No, Chris. Look, I'm sure all of those topics are interesting. Then why don't you talk about them? You want to know why you don't talk about them? Because nobody is interested in that stuff. Nobody gives a damn about politics and dating. Yes, there are political nuances to the people that you choose to date, but bruh, what are you even talking about here? Just because it never occurred to you to talk about that stuff doesn't mean we should. I swear to God, man, people with like 1 million plus subscribers, they always act like they just know so much more than everybody else. Okay, so you do YouTube better than I do. It doesn't really mean much at the end of the day. That's
interesting. You can keep talking about the same thing, but do it with a different angle on it, continuing to just hammer away on the same points. I know, it's just...
Yeah, there's a reason why Fresh and Fit is still the #1 men's podcast in the world. They keep pounding away at the same points, Chris. Because men find the red pill every day. That's why, Chris. It's almost as though they're trying to bait us into changing our strategy so that it's less effective. Well, you guys shouldn't do it this way. You should do it that way. No thanks, Chris. We're doing just fine over here. We're not about to start talking about parents, the children of parents dating. No, Chris, fuck off and fuck you. man. You do what's good for your audience, we'll do what's good for ours. It's so funny. It's almost like he's doing the Hafiz thing with Pearl. You should do X, Y, and Z. No, Hafiz. Pearl is better at YouTube than you are. Let her just do what the hell she needs to do. Yeah, we are going to keep hammering these points home, Chris, because they're true, and people never get tired of hearing the truth, especially when the truth is constantly suppressed by the algorithm. Devin in the chat says women say politics matter, but in reality, they will make exceptions for the right man. 100%.
Fair play if you have that degree of patience, maybe, to be able to just have the same conversation 1,000 times.
Yes. Fair play is what he says, and that's what Myron Gaines does, and that's why they are where they are. He's saying, well, if it works, keep doing it, but if it's not, then don't do it. No, Chris, it works, my friend. Yeah, we are going to keep hammering the same points home. You want to know what makes it interesting? Is that the same points continue to be proven true by different women every night. Black women, white women, Latina women, foreign women, Brazilian women, Ukrainian women, women of all ages, racial ethnicities, backgrounds, nationalities, come on and verify night after night that hypergamy is absolutely real, that women are absolutely survivors, and that female nature has been decoded. I'm not taking advice from you about the content, about the nuances about the content we produce here. No thanks.
But I don't have that in my toolbox.
The description is boring, the descriptive part, because it's the same thing over and over again. And then the prescriptive part is boring because for a lot of these movements.
Yeah, you know what? The truth is often boring. The truth is often boring, Destiny. The truth is often boring. Education is often boring. Why do you think Myron does the Pennywise dance? Because he does realize it does become a little bit monotonous, but not when you got different girls on there every night. It's so funny. They're trying to they're sitting here trying to. Everybody's channels are growing. Hell, even mine is starting to grow again. But they want to say, well, the reason why they're failing is because they're talking about the same things. No, that is the reason we're growing, is because we hammer the same points home, and our points are proven day after day in real life.
People don't actually give you good advice to kind of navigate it sometimes, unless...
Unbelievable. Steven, we gave you advice to navigate it, and you ended up getting fucked over by a feral whore who left you for a guy in a dress. This dude still can't take the L. Still can't take the L, man.
You can become a top 1%er. Instead, what they try to prescribe is like a world that doesn't exist anymore. Like, this is no good because women have birth control, because women are, earning money and blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, well, that's not changing.
Yeah, now he's talking about the low-level MGTOWs and black pill guys. See, now he's talking about those guys. Believe it or not, guys, the Manosphere, we got a lot of losers in this community. We got a lot of losers in this community. We have a lot of losers with big channels in this community. So here Destiny is, he's gonna get on us about, we should go back to 1950. No, 1950 ain't coming back. It's not what we prescribe here. It's not what we espouse. Repeal the 19th Amendment. No, sorry, not doing that at all. Not doing that at all. All right, let me add to the stage my guy. If I can get
on, Don.
Hey, what's going on, Glenn? What's going on with your... Hey, there he is. What's going on? Glenn Lawrence is in the house. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Not much. Wanted to pop in and, contribute a little bit to this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's crazy. People think the red pill's going it's going to go somewhere. It's not going anywhere.
No.
The players may change. The people that were once credible may not be credible anymore.
Right.
Or, but that doesn't mean the message and what the truth of it is going to go anywhere.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Some actors may not be in here, or they may not be considered worthy to be listened to.
Right.
For their own reasons, but that doesn't take away the work that they did at all.
Absolutely.
It doesn't count it at all.
Absolutely.
So for the people that think that it's going nowhere, Destiny's retarded. He's trying to double down. He's just doing exactly what the Tradcons do. They're trying to double down on their ideology and their belief because that's what they need to. They're invested in that. Their identity is in that.
Yes.
It's like a man with a title. Like if your title is this, and you lose your title, you kind of lose who you are.
Yes. That's right.
So the same thing with them. If they realize that their ideology is crap, then they lose who they are.
Wow, well said, Glenn. You know, and it's funny, just like you said, Destiny continues to double down. I don't know why he continues to do all of these shows, and despite the fact that his own marriage, which we accurately predicted almost to the letter, and the reason we predicted it to the letter is because that's the way he acquired the relationship in the first place. We saw on camera the transition from whatever loser Melina was with to the loser Destiny. Destiny happened to be a rich loser who played a bunch of video games. Melina used Destiny for clout and money. She's done with him, and now she's with Tim, who wears a dress. Why is this guy not, at least at the very least, saying, you know what, you guys may have been right about my slut of an ex-wife, Melina. He just can't do it.
No, because again, that would have to be him admitting he's wrong.
There you go.
And if he's wrong in that area, just the smallest area, then that opens the door for us to question him and challenge him whether he's wrong in other areas. See, that's the problem. That's the main problem with people in the red pill too.
Yep.
We're going to be running into is that some guys make a whole lot of ridiculous claims about things that they can't prove, that are not true, and then when it gets exposed that they were wrong, now it questions their work or with the advice that they give. You know, it's like, all we got is our name and our word.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
And once we lose that, or we risk sacrificing that, and we don't own it that we're wrong, then we lose credibility.
No, I totally agree. And there's something inherently, to me, Glenn, and I've got other people I got to get to, but to me, there's something inherently masculine about a man who says, you know what, I got it wrong. You know, dude, I'll admit, I co-signed Tori or Torsha. I got that one wrong. She was signed off on by Rollo Tomasi. She's got a great set of tits. Unfortunately, that's literally all she is. I admitted, hey, you know what? I took the L on that. But
it's boobs. It's the risk you got to take for boobs.
You know what I'm saying? Boobs are. But you're not
dumb
lying.
Decision a man has made has been for boobs.
Dude, I swear to God, dude. 95% of the bad decisions I've made are because of boobs, including some currently. That's just how that goes sometimes. Oh, yeah. Unbelievable. So I'll give you the last word on this, Glenn.
No, I just wanted to chime in, and support the channel and agree with you. Like, we're not going anywhere. Some players may change. I love the video that you did about Myron the other day.
Yeah.
It needed to be done.
Yeah.
It was about time somebody actually did it.
What's your opinion on that?
You got there first.
What was your opinion on that? Because I think Myron, he's the de facto unquestioned leader. Like, he is the guy. A lot of people push back because they just don't like the guy. But what's your opinion on that?
So, I think he is the spokesman.
Okay.
Like the front runner.
I like that.
He is the face. He's the face of the red pill.
I like it.
But he's not the one that did the research.
Right.
He's not the R&D department. He's not the research and development department. He's the guy that takes that information and disseminates it to the masses in a way that they could digest it. Right. So he took Rollo's book, which is, has a lot of $10 words in it. Yeah, man. And he broke it down to the common man, to the layman that could understand it, and disseminated it. So that put him in the position of, I understand Myron. I may not understand what Rollo's saying, but I understand what Myron gets at it. So that put him in the position as the speaker or the face of it. And he has been doing a great job as being that face of it. He knows the material, just as good as almost anybody else.
He's awesome, dude. He is absolutely awesome. Glenn Lawrence, listen, man, thanks for stopping by, man. You and I are going to talk soon. We've got arrangements to make for next month, but I will be in contact with you soon, my friend. I appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Talk to you later.
Take it easy, brother. All right, so Glenn Lawrence, Roger C. Roger C, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. All right, what's on your mind, buddy?
I guess I'll preface it with saying that I lean more to the blue pill side.
Okay, that's fine.
And I do listen to Destiny from time to time. And I guess my point of contention is do you really believe that the red pill isn't dying?
Yes, I do. The red pill The red pill. Now, I will say this: I think the red pill has certainly taken some. It's certainly taken some hits as of late. And really the reason why it's kind of taken a lot of body blows is because of its rise in popularity. The more, anytime the bigger anything gets, the more critics and detractors it tends to get. But yeah, we've got Pearl Davis. She was on with Jason Whitlock for an hour and a half. Jason Whitlock is a mainstream guy. The mainstream media does a very good job in trying to suppress, red pill content, but whether it's called red pill, whether it's me or the Tates or whatever else, I mean, fundamentally, it's not going anywhere. As long as feminism is around, fundamentally, red pill's not going anywhere.
Yeah, because I guess again, from the outside looking in, if I look and I see Kevin Samuels isn't here anymore, Andrew Tate in and out of jail, Pearl demonetized, Fresh and Fit demonetized, Rolo's channel is, not doing so great. It seems like, yes, there is still a presence, but it's not what it once was. Therefore, I would probably agree with it that it is dying. It's not dead, but it is dying.
Well, I would disagree. Just because someone is demonetized doesn't mean that they're any less valid. Pearl is going to crack. If she hasn't cracked 2 million subscribers already, she probably will in the next 5 minutes. Fresh and Fit's channel continues to grow. They're demonetized, but they're still making money hand over fist. They had 50,000 people watching the Candace Owens interview. So, and again, and Rollo will be the first to tell you this, subscribers and a lot of that stuff, it really is a vanity metric. And I think it wouldn't surprise me at all if some of these metrics weren't somehow manipulated to imply to people like yourself, well, if people look at subs and likes and views as an indication as to whether or not the red pill is dying, well, then we can further influence them in this way. People are talking about this in coffee shop, and Kevin Samuels said this long before he died. People are no longer talking about this in back alleys. People are having these conversations in restaurants. People are having conversations about this stuff at work. That's not very wise to do, but people are having conversations about this. And the fact that it's gotten so big to the point to where people think that it's dying means that it is definitely not dying.
Yeah, maybe, perhaps. I guess from the outside looking in, and especially seeing even from like some of the debates that Destiny has had, and again, maybe I'm a bit biased.
Sure.
It's just like one of his main gripes is obviously it's just the repetitive content. It's just like, body count, blah, 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 blah. And it's ultimately sort of the same thing. Whatever podcast is pretty predictable. Fresh and Fits, After Hours, pretty predictable. And it's no knock on the content, but it is pretty predictable.
Yeah, it's predictable. And the reason why it's predictable is because we're trying to show that modern women are predictable. Look, man, I think and that's actually a very good point. And I'm glad that you said predictable. You remember when, and I don't know how old you are, you're probably a young guy, but we have always been sort of taught that women are these otherworldly beings, that in order to understand a woman, you have to read a book as thick as the Bible, and women are complex and mystical and all this other kind of stuff. Well, now that women have properly been decoded, we realize that they're about as simple as a picnic basket. Which means that there aren't going to be too many talking points when it comes to the nature of modern women. So yeah, when it comes to modern women, there are only so many talking points because modern women really are simple. That's why the talking points are repetitive. And the reason why it's predictable is because modern women are predictable. And that's exactly what this community, to me, that's exactly what this community has done. It has decoded modern women. And I'll tell you something else too. It is a thing of beauty to sort of watch the chat, predicting what's going to happen before it's going to happen. It's so cool to be able to just kind of, and I think that's why people love watching Fresh and Fit and the whatever podcast, because they're like, look what's about to happen. It never gets old. And I'll tell you something else. People haven't been privy to this content for most of their lives. So it is still just the novelty. Well, guess what? There are men and women turning 18 every single day. So look, whatever podcast might be here in 10 years, Fresh and Fit might not be here in 10 years. Who knows? Pearl Davis, she should be married with kids in 10 years. I might be dead and gone in 10 years. We'll never know. One would hope so. One would hope not. But fundamentally, the conversation's already started. Kevin Samuels said, these conversations are no longer happening in the back alley. They're happening in coffee shops. Sorry about that. I'll give you the last word.
But in the same breath of saying like that modern women may be sort of simple-minded, would you not say that modern men may be simple-minded as well?
Yes, we are absolutely simple-minded.
Okay.
Yep, men and women. Men are. And you know, the interesting thing is that men, we're simple-minded and we're very simple. The difference and so are women, but women think of that as an insult. It's not an insult to admit, yes, I'm a simple creature. It doesn't take much for me to have loyalty towards a woman. Fit, feminine, friendly, and faithful. Women don't really need that much to be faithful to a man, yet the world tells them that they have to require all of these things to sort of portray to the world that you are special, that you are unique, that you are fantastic, and you require... No. Nobody here is special. Nobody here is unique. We're all people living on this earth. The difference is, as men, we admit that we're simple-minded creatures who are very simple individuals. Women don't. And when you call women simple, they somehow take that as an insult. I don't think that's an insult at all. I think women are not as complex as one would. If women were so complex, we wouldn't have been able to decode them in 10 years or less.
Yeah, I think that maybe for like you guys and the red pill side, you guys are probably going to be more subject matter experts. But I would imagine for your audience that is maybe struggling with women, maybe they are finding women to be a little bit more complex because maybe they just don't have the social skills, or just maybe people have the understanding. So I agree with that.
No, that's exactly right. And this is exactly why channels like this exist, so that women become less complex. And listen, man, I used to be that person. I used to think, man, like, what is going on with women? It's like they say one thing and do another, but they mean this and say that. And, you know, men have to, and this is unfortunate, but it's so much riskier to learn the lessons that need to be learned for you to be able to become good with women and deal with women romantically without them taking their pound of flesh. And so I used to be hard on guys who are checking out of the dating market, but over time, I'm starting to see that for a lot of guys, it's just not worth it. So I understand that they would more or less live vicariously through us, but women, anything is complex until you actually look at it through the right lens. And the red pill lens is what turns women from these complex beings to these simple creatures. And I'll submit this to you. I think when you see how simple a woman is, I think it makes her a lot more attractive and a lot more and generally more pliable and generally better to be around and better to have relationships with.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I can see that.
All right. Well, thanks for chiming in, and let me go ahead and get to our other ones. I appreciate you chiming in, buddy.
Appreciate you. Be good. Be safe.
You too, man. Take care. All right. Let us go to. Hey, Mike Steele is in the house. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Afternoon. Greetings from Sin City.
All right, man. Looking good. I like the beard game. I like the hair game. I like it.
Thank you. No, the thing that irks me about the whole situation is how the thing that they just gloss over every time. They're always making fun of guys like Myron and Fresh and Justin Waller and stuff like that, about how these guys are like selling us like a pyramid scheme or a pipe dream or a lie, and they're forgetting the most basic thing, and that is that none of these guys, Myron, Fresh, Waller, Tate, none of them are out here saying that do as I say and you'll become just like me.
Right.
That's exactly right. The whole point is that by striving to become a 1% man, you could become an 8% man and make $200K.
Not a bad alternative, right?
No.
Not a bad alternative.
And so it's it's number one, a logical fallacy. It's called false dichotomy.
Oh, yes,
and
absolutely.
Number two, it's just so disingenuous.
Yeah.
Because it also disrespects and detracts from the effort that the men are putting into it. The ones who are hitting the gym, fixing their diet, leveling up their fashion, and leveling up their career. It's like telling someone who's in track and field, well, you're never going to win a gold medal at the Olympics, so why even bother?
Right. And that's absolutely ridiculous. And here's another fallacy. A lot of guys like to come in and say, well, I don't need a parking lot full of Bugattis and a mansion to be an alpha male. That's not what Andrew Tate says. And I'll go to exactly what you said. Andrew Tate, Waller, and those guys don't say, do as I do, and you will end up just like me. No, that is not what they're saying at all. And I'll even go a bit further. These guys are jealous, Mike. These guys are just envious. These guys are, and it was funny, it was clear what really sort of told the tale in that Ethan Klein interview was when they were quizzing Myron and Fresh on their relationships with the women that they're in relationships with, and they said, we're not monogamous. And Ethan just says, no, I don't believe that. Well, I'm sorry, Ethan. Just because you don't believe it doesn't mean it's not true. And to me, that just said, you're the fat kid on the playground who is mad that you didn't get kicked for kickball, you didn't get picked for kickball, and the athletic kids are over there getting all the girls when you could do something about that. Guys like Ethan Klein, Aben Preach, the reason these guys are so pissed off at us is because we are able to extrapolate what we want from women, sex and submission, without paying as much as they think they have to pay. Ethan's wife has cheated on him 2 or 3 times, and we know this to be true. Aben Preach routinely pay for sex. That's why they can't fathom. It does not register. That's why they think Myron and Fresh have to be criminals. They have to be committing crimes, because there is no way these guys are getting these girls without having to pay in some sort of way. They can't fathom the fact that game actually matters.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. That's all I had to say, Donovan. Thank you very much for your
Mike,
time
you're the
today.
man, dude. We'll
Enjoy
talk
the
soon,
video.
brother, and I'll see you in about a month, my friend. Mike Steele, longtime supporter of mine. Yeah, Mike is one of the guys. Mike is one of the guys who has probably, from A to Z, has improved his life in every way. When I first met Mike, he was living in Virginia. He was making a decent wage. He was out of shape. Now he lives in Vegas. He has the job of his dreams, and he's up to his eyeballs in you know what. You already know how that goes. Let's go to Jay Blaze. Jay Blaze, what's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, man?
Yeah, I don't think Destiny realizes, I think his views are in the 90s.
Okay.
This community would not be where it's at and have this kind of success if it was in the 90s. But
Okay.
women have adapted to the social media era.
Yes.
And, when you hear him on Fresh and Fit or anything, I would agree with every single thing he said if it was in the 90s.
Right. Oh, that
But
makes sense.
it's not the case. And it's just wild, man, because he refuses to accept that it's gone, it's no longer what it was. And we saw it with Candace Owens. She had a debate with him.
Yep.
And she's like, you have no steadfast beliefs.
Nope.
You live like you're in your early 20s.
Yep.
Just debaucherous. And didn't he leave his son?
Yeah.
Abandon his son?
Yeah, he abandoned his son so he can get with Molina. Yeah.
And it's just wild. It's something. And until these guys realize, we have to adapt, it's going to continue like this. You're going to have these haters.
Why do you think he's still on this crusade? I mean, it's like, I don't know how he thinks people can take him seriously when talking about the red pill, when we so accurately predicted what would happen in his relationship, and then it happened. Yet he's still saying it's bad information, they need to change, and the red pill is dying. Why can't this dude just take an L and admit, okay, they got it right?
We saw this guy on 90 Day Fiance where he spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on this chat girl.
Oh, God.
Are we seeing the same thing from Destiny? The sunk fallacy?
Oh my God!
Because
the sunken cost fallacy.
Yeah, I saw him on Piers Morgan, and he was the goddamn clown there. I'm just like, Destiny, your politics are just parrotism, and just and you just talk over everyone, and you just repeat the opposite of what they're saying. You're a clown, and
yep.
I don't think he realizes this.
Yeah, this is why I was supposed to go debate him, but I had COVID. But everyone's like, you're afraid to debate Destiny. And I told everyone, guys, Destiny doesn't debate. All he does is disagree. He talks loud, he talks fast, and he disagrees. And when you finally pin him down on a point where it actually makes sense to him, then he accuses you of lying. He did that to Candace. He was like, wait a minute, are you lying about being broke, or are you lying about being poor? Why would anyone lie about being poor when they grew up? I think it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Rolo used to talk about this all the time, being ego invested. And this is something that Glenn touched on while he was just on, this is Destiny's, this is his identity. At least with guys like Abba and Preach, at least they can maybe turn the corner, and they tried one time, and YouTube put him back in place. We actually talked about that on the 6th. But at least maybe Ethan Klein can maybe come around and start, no. Destiny is fully entrenched. He's fully ego invested. And not only is there the sunken cost fallacy with his relationship, I think there's a sunken cost fallacy with his very image. No, dude, even Destiny's own fans are telling him, hey, we're anti-red pill too, but they were kind of right about Melina.
And we're going to get to a point where he's going to go on shows and they're going to tell him, hey, give your opinion first. Give it first. Like, you're going to get to a point where it stays on with Myron. Like, Destiny, give your opinion first so you have an opinion.
Yes.
And you can't, like, waffle and say...
What do you think?
The opposite of what I'm saying.
There you go. No, yeah. I totally agree. I'll give you the last word, Jay Blaze.
Hey, hit me up on the chat because we're having a good time, you know, doing our watch parties at night. So if you're interested...
Okay. Oh, you guys are doing Love is Blind. Aren't you guys doing...
We're right now we're doing F-Boy Island, Spain.
Wow. And it's
good.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, shoot me the link. I'll jump in, man. I got a little extra time.
There's a guy, Hall of Famer. The guy is just a complete savage, and I think he's on par with Garrett so far.
Whoa. Okay, you're throwing around words like Hall of Famer, man. I think I got to jump in there now. Thanks a lot, Jay. Appreciate it, man. Jay Blaze in the house. Definitely a longtime supporter. One of my 3 ambassadors, one of my 3 CME ambassadors, him, along with Mike Steele and him along with Mike Steele and King Life are my 3 CME ambassadors. They have lifetime CME passes for life. They will be there in Lake Tahoe this fall. Let's continue and go till the end of this. And this is a very short interview, guys, so this is not going to be like a 4-hour podcast, so don't sweat it.
So
I really said that more for myself.
You have to give advice for the world that exists now, not tell guys you have to become a top 1% or you need to earn so much fucking money that the traditional girls or whatever will go back to liking you.
Yeah, Destiny, that's exactly what we do. That's exactly what we do. That's it. Like, nobody is saying that you have to be a millionaire to be good with women. Nobody is saying that you have to be a millionaire to get women. We're saying make as much money as you possibly can, get into the best shape you possibly can, and you will increase your odds of success with attractive women. That's what we tell men. There are no guarantees, Destiny. Stop putting words into our mouths.
It's never advice geared towards, well, how do you navigate the modern world where women don't need men as much, where women are looking for different things in relationships? How do you navigate that? It's just like we need to go back to the days of old and everything is messed up now because of feminism and...
Yeah, see, there he goes. Once again, taking the dregs of our community, the low-level MGTOW guys who do nothing but complain, the black pill guys who say it's all about money, looks, and status. No, Destiny, you're talking about black pillars, fam. Not talking about red pillars.
Complaining and blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by...
Okay, all right. Well, I guess that's that. By the way, tonight is bowling night at the Sharpe family compound. At the Sharpe family compound. And your boy is out here changing the game. You see, gentlemen, to the naked eye, what is on your screen are a pair of Jordans, right? A pair of Jordans that your boy turned into his bowling shoes. That's right, gentlemen. I hit the lanes with these bad boys. Now, a lot of people call them Mexican Mikes. I don't care. I got them at a Jordan outlet. But yes, I got this. I've managed to turn this pair of Jordans. And guys, I can't tell you how many pairs of Jordans I have, dude. Oh my God. I got a wall full of fucking Jordans. And so I decided, you know what? I want to look a little cooler on the lanes. So let me, now this is bowling is the only thing I do right-handed. Everything else I do left-handed. Eat, right, punch, whatever. But because of a shoulder injury, I was forced to learn to bowl right-handed. And so my slide foot is my left foot because I'm a right-handed bowler, which is why this is longer than this. I don't really need this. I don't really need the slide on my right foot because you don't slide with your right foot. But if you don't have the slide on there, you have the imbalance. You have one up here and one down there. So I put the slider on the bottom of the right. But yeah. Yep. So these are my bowling shoes, and dude, they look good. They look great on the lanes. And there's a guy that I bowled. He's really cool. He's a cool dude. His name is Terry. And every week we're both big sneaker collectors. I mean, we're both black. Look, man, look. Let me just divert here for a second. I talk all the time about how people talk all the time about, well, we want to buy into stereotypes and all that good stuff. Guys, stereotypes exist for a reason. They exist for a reason. I might not be a street nigga. You know what I'm saying? I might not be a street nigga, but you know what? Look, I'm black. And guess what, y'all? I got a little nigga in me. I got a criminal record. And look, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just keeping it real. I talk about niggas all the time. Please believe, like Chris Rock famously said, I love black people, but I hate niggas. I'm the same way. But I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't have some nigga traits, right? I got sleeve tattoos like a nigga. I got a beard like a nigga. I got a criminal record like a nigga. I got an arrest record like a nigga. I got a temper like a nigga. I got emotional problems like a nigga because I was raised by a single mom. The only thing I need is a baby mama, right? The only thing I need is a baby mama. So, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm somehow the exception to the rule just because I sound a little educated. No. Look, man, I drink Hennessy. I like Jordans. I like white girls. I like Kool-Aid with too much sugar in it. It is what the fuck it is. It is what the fuck it is. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm just no, man. I'm not a fan of niggas. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't have a few nigga traits. Anyway. So me and this dude, Terry, we have this competition. I got a white girl like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, hey, look, man. I mean, I don't like niggas, but I got some nigga in me. It is what it is. But every week we like to flex on each other. Like, yo, check out these. I got the 727s here. I got the Jordan 11s there. I got this. I got that. And so I hit him with. So I showed him these last week. I'm just walking around and I was like, yo, you want to see some gangster shit? He's like, yeah. He looked at my shoes and then I lifted them up. He was like, oh shit. So I changed the game. Ice Dragon Kid said rich people shit. Hey, look, man. I mean, I do well for myself. Suffix Finest says, nigga got Jordan bowling shoes and still ain't black enough for O'Shea Obsidian. Yo, that is real shit. You're probably right. Donovan Sharpe thinks he's really black because he's got a pair of Jordan bowling shoes. But you're not really black, Donovan. You got you a white girl. Sorry. You can't be black. Not in here. No, not here, not now, not ever. Whatever happened to Obsidian anyway? Where you at? Kevin's Corner with the $2 super chat says, not the Kool-Aid with too much sugar. Hey, look. I'm not going to front. I'm not going to sit here in front like I ain't got some nigga traits. Like, that's just how it is. Okay, y'all got me up over 50% engagement, so I'm going to open up the chat. I'm going to open up the chat for a few minutes here. And while I read the rest of these comments and close out the show. I'll leave it open for a few. I'll leave StreamYard open for a few more minutes in case anybody else wants to jump on and listen. Shout out to Glenn Lawrence, Mike Steele, Jay Blaze, the guy who called in and we had a little debate. That was cool. Appreciate that very much. Guys. Suffix Finest says, I thought having a big titty white girl made Donovan the blackest. That's what I thought. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, Sky Daddy 8, nigga, no you didn't. No, this nigga did not just ask me what's my favorite flavor of Kool-Aid. Nigga, you know it's grape. You know my favorite flavor of Kool-Aid is grape. Come on, man. Who you trying to... Because it's either red or it's grape. And by the way, we don't care what flavor the red is. It could be strawberry. It could be cherry. It could be strawberry, cherry. As long as it's red, you're in there. But yes, my favorite flavor of Kool-Aid, my favorite flavor of Kool-Aid is absolutely grape. Suffolk's Finest says grape for life. Neil Ray, member for 26 months. Let me give you a Don DeMarco before we go to Trayvon here. Says, what's good, Donovan in the chat? Hope you are doing well. Appreciate that. All right, Trayvon. Let me go ahead and... oh, wait a minute. Oh, you chose to mute yourself. Go ahead and unmute yourself, my friend.
Mr. Sharpe,
what's up, brother? How you
Professor Sharpe, man. It's a pleasure to finally talk to you for once.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like the other gentleman said, you are doing God's work, and I truly appreciate your wisdom.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Like, you guys really helped change my life, and especially in trying to get my life together, the dating scene. So, man, it's really an honor to talk to you.
Good.
Thanks.
The honor's all mine, man. So what's
up? One thing I realized is that this think, and Tate said this once, this think is still old school think. It's not new, and it's. Right. I grew up in a very Jamaican household, so I was fortunate enough to grow up in America with a Jamaican family.
Okay.
And the old think is still there.
Okay.
It's kind of well known, so it was like growing up, hearing all these stories that Americans have faced. I'm like, damn, like there was a huge disconnect. I was like, yo, but we kind of already knew that girls were like that. But yeah, and so growing up, my American boys, they were like, man, like, trying to pander to girls, and seeing my mom, my brothers, and my dad, they were just like, hey, yo, women they do what they do what they want to do. Right. They do how they want to do. Right. And I'm like, yeah, so it's kind of crazy to hear, but I'm not going to say I didn't have any horror stories with girls, but
sure,
it is kind of crazy to see that a lot of gentlemen nowadays are just like, it's hard for them to come to grasp with it because they've been drilled with all this information for the longest time.
Yeah.
But it's so cool to see that you guys have like decoded girls, and I think guys, they don't really appreciate the nuances.
No, they don't.
Or they're too literal. I'm starting to see that.
Yeah, they disingenuously apply nuance when it is literal in order to make an argument against the nuance. In other words, you know what I mean? In other words, they try to add nuance where there clearly doesn't need to be nuance, so that they can say, "See, we're right." It's something that guys like Destiny do all the time, and it really only works on stupid people.
Damn. I guess you can't really change that, but even then, I think a stupid man can learn a lot from y'all wisdom.
Yep.
If he wants to, right? If he wants to.
Listen, I say this all the time, man. And I used to talk about this a lot. The red pill is only going... We've all heard the term, when the student is ready, the master will appear, right? And when the student is really ready, the master will disappear. Well, it's the same thing as the red pill. Nobody ever goes and finds out what the red pill is if he's fucking 3 girls at once and they're all making him meals. No. Right. Just like nobody finds religion when they're worth 8 figures and all of their businesses are doing great. No, people find God when tragedy happens. Somebody in their family dies. They lose their business, their home, their family, something tragic. Well, it's the same thing as the red pill. And I'm not trying to call it a religion, but the red pill is only there for men who seek it out. And unfortunately, it's now available everywhere, and men are starting to find the red pill who aren't seeking it out. And they usually have one of 2 responses. The first response is, wow, I didn't really think I was doing that bad with girls, but I think I can get a little bit better. Or the other response is, oh, this is misogynistic and blah, 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 blah. Because I guarantee you this, if people were privy to conversations that happened in your Jamaican household, they would call that misogynistic.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it made my family just laugh at it because we're like, yo, the girls still love it.
Right. Exactly. Right. Exactly. Shout out De La Soul on there. I'll give you the last word, my friend.
Yeah. I appreciate that, sir.
Of course.
I think you guys have done a really good, even though earlier you said the red pill is deregulated.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think so. I don't think it's deregulated. I think you guys have already vetted yourself.
Okay.
Like,
right.
Let's be real. For the new generation, like, the young guys like me, Myron and Fresh have already vetted, have already shown us the gateway.
Yep.
So that's how I found you. That's how I found AMS. Right. Funny enough, I found Red Pill through Austin Chad Dunham. That's how I found it. Yeah.
Wow, that's old school.
Like, oh, this guy slaying all these girls. And then I found the rest of them, and I was like, but they make sense.
Yep.
So I didn't even know there was a lot of like underground black pillars and stuff like that, because you guys have done such a great job of already vetting each other.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Not only that, I think you guys do a good job in vetting us, because I think our audience is educated and knowledgeable enough to know that if that like red pill channels are popping up all over the place. If you know what you're talking about, then people know. Like we're an audience of men. We're not an audience of women where we believe every shiny thing we hear. No, we listen to guys. And it's funny, there's one guy a long time ago who started a red pill channel. I think his name was Steve Hoka. He said that I'm sleeping with 10 new women a day and blah, 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 blah. But then we found out he worked a full-time job as a truck driver. So you're fucking 10 women a day and you're working 12 hours a day as a truck driver. So people understand the difference between a man who knows what he's talking about or a man who's just regurgitating other talking points.
Fair enough. Yeah, you guys have really stressed critical thinking.
Yes.
And I truly say thank you for all of that. Like,
absolutely,
man, godsends, bro. You guys are godsends. And the last thing, I didn't know you were, respectfully, I didn't know you were such a nigga. I'm loving it, bro.
Hey, look, man. Like I said, stereotypes exist for a reason. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't like white girls or Kool-Aid with Kool-Aid with too much sugar. Listen, man, I grew up poor. We were on food stamps and all about it, man. I got a little nigga in me.
Man, it was an honor. Talk
Absolutely,
to you soon,
man.
sir.
Absolutely. Thanks for chiming in, man. Shout out to Trayvon. Let's go to Panda Trucker, who is on the road as we speak. What's going on, brother?
What's up, dude? What's going on with you?
Oh, not too much, man. We're just sitting here having fun. This is great. It's the first time I'm actually seeing and talking to you at the same time.
Hell yeah. I mean, I forgot bringing some love, you know?
Good stuff. What's on your mind?
Hell yeah, dude. I wanted to talk about something, you know, something that I share on my TikTok channel and everything else.
Okay.
It's something you've spoken about very briefly in the past, where, you know, in the black community, there's this notion of, you know, I'm not where I'm supposed to be because the white man's keeping me down or whatever it is.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and you, my friend, are the quintessential example of that, where you came from that single mother background, you were in and out of prison, you've been through the fucking ringer, and you know what? I was there with you.
Yep.
But I'll tell you what, look at what you're doing now, look at your net worth, look at everything that you're bringing to the world. You, my friend, are the prime example that I'm trying to spread to everybody, not just the black community, but everybody, that you can do it. As long as you put your mind in the right place and quit being a fucking victim.
Yep.
You can do whatever the fuck you want to do.
That in large part is why the quote unquote black community, as Coach Greg Adams calls it, the communita, this is one of many reasons they have excommunicated me. According to black YouTube, I'm not really black, which is okay. That's fine. My birth certificate and my DNA says otherwise, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's because I'm not the type of dude who is going to, because I've made every mistake, Panda. I've made every mistake known to man. And dude, all of the mistakes were my fault. I've overcome a lot, but guess what, man? The things I overcame were of my own doing. And if a guy like me, who has made every conceivable mistake under the sun, can still rise up and do and become what I become today, then anybody can do it. It has nothing to do with my skin tone. It has nothing to do with the man keeping me down or this and that or the other. It has everything to do with what's in here. What kind of heart do you have? What kind of resiliency do you have?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I've shared this with members of the community. My trainer, when I first got my CDL, he was a young black man.
Yeah.
And him and I would go back and forth, and we'd have long, drawn-out discussions of this. At first, when I first got in his truck, it was, well, you know, the white person this, the white person that. And I'm like, wait a minute, dude. You know, he went to the conversation of how cops are keeping us down, and there is the what's the word you're looking for? racism within the system.
Right. Yeah. Right. Systemic racism. Right.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Exactly. But there was so many conversations him and I had where I'm like, dude, if you're breaking the fucking law, you deserve to go to jail, regardless of you're white, black, yellow, purple. Doesn't fucking matter.
Exactly.
If you're beating on your woman, you deserve to go to jail for that shit.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right, man. No, I totally agree, man. I think one thing, and it's funny, I had a conversation with my brother about this way back with the George Floyd situation, and it's it's interesting. The reason why, and I don't know why everyone was so surprised that the black community acted the way that it did. Here's why the black community gets so emotional, and the reason for this. Well, not only that, is that most black people are raised by black women, and black women are women, and they raise black men to be emotional. I among them.
Right.
So when anything happens in the black community, we can expect them to act with emotion because women not only raise most black people, women run the black community. So when it comes to things in the black community that happen that are not right, et cetera, they respond with emotion, and when men respond with emotion, people die, buildings get destroyed, cities get demolished. This is why it's very, very important for men not to block your emotions, but to learn to thrive in spite of your emotions and control your emotions. I'll give you the last word.
Yes. Well, no, you bring up a great point, and the black communities, actually, even single moms nowadays, it doesn't matter what color they are.
Jesus, you ain't lying about that.
Single mothers, they push out the strong masculine men out of their children's lives, and they make the choice to be a single mother.
That's right.
And then there's no way a woman can teach a little boy how to be a man.
No, not a chance.
Right. And then you bring in, stepdad. Okay, got it. Stepdad comes in. Stepdad can't discipline the kids.
Right.
Because those are my kids, not yours, right. And you will not, the whole thing. But yeah, how do we go from the situation we're in now to go back to the original family structure?
Wow.
That's the question. How do we turn that dial? Not go back to the 1960s.
Sure.
But how do we keep men in the homes? How do we keep daughters off of the pole? How do we keep little boys out of prison? That's where I would love to see the red pill go and address these issues. And yes, okay, I understand that women are hypergamous.
No, but you're right.
Yes, I understand it.
You're right.
Right, but
yeah.
I would love to see that transition of maybe, okay, the whatever podcast has a lot more female viewers than the Fresh Fit podcast, obviously.
Sure, of course.
So they're in a position where they can affect change within that family structure.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, maybe I'm not going to kick this guy out just because I'm bored.
Right.
Or maybe I'm not bored. Maybe I'm content.
There you go. That's another one.
Yeah. That's what I like to see, and that's what I try to. Again, I run a TikTok channel. That's what I try to turn that dial.
Okay.
To see, okay, well, men aren't the bad guys here.
No.
And while women are feral, yes, women aren't bad guys either.
No.
They just lack guidance.
That's it. That's exactly right.
Panda,
man,
I
listen,
appreciate.
Absolutely, man. You've been a longtime supporter of mine. You're always giving away like 5 memberships, man. I greatly appreciate your support and patronage.
I'm about to do that right now.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, hey, drive safe out there, man. Don't do it at your expense, man. Make sure you park at a rest stop before you start doing all that, man.
Absolutely.
Panda Trucker, appreciate you chiming in, man.
Y'all be good.
Take it easy. Panda Trucker chiming in. Yeah, dude, that's my guy, man. That's my guy, man. He's always it's crazy. He's always like, we got 5 memberships by Panda Trucker. But to answer his question, He would like to see the red pill go in to tackle some of the macro issues caused by the micro issues. This is where Pearl Davis comes in. Pearl is working on a hard-hitting documentary that is really going to focus on how unfair the divorce courts are here in America and Great Britain. And she has some very, very compelling footage, and I'm looking forward to that. I think that doing projects like that that will definitely push the red pill over the finish line for sure. We got a comment here, and it might sound like a hater comment, but I think he's got a point. Or I think this is what a lot of people feel. He says, WCVLA says, I don't watch Fresh and Fit anymore. It's just regurgitated at this point, and we've heard the same masculinity tips 1,000 times. Congratulations. That's what we like to hear. We don't want guys to have to be in the red pill all the time, right? And this is what Destiny was talking about. Content strategy. We're not trying to keep the same audience, Destiny. We're not trying to show new parlor. No, stay with me because I have the new. No. We want to teach men for as long as they need to teach men. And when you don't need us anymore, dude, go forth and be fruitful and multiply. And if you ever backslide a little bit, we're here for you. But some guys who are lifelong Fresh and Fit fans might not watch it as often because they've heard all the talking points. That's awesome. If you've heard all those talking points 1,000 times, then guess what? Dude, you're ahead of 95% of people out there. So congratulations for actually thinking that Fresh and Fit has regurgitated stuff. You have clearly watched enough to effectively change your life and the lives of many other people out there. So to me, to that end, because I remember I remember a lot of my old school subscribers, and I used to ask myself, like, what happened to Freelance Ronin? What happened to this guy? Or what happened to that guy? They moved on. They have reached the end of the rope. They started this red pill journey. I have taught them all that I could teach them. And now it's time for them to move on. I don't need someone's subscription for the rest of their life. I don't need you to be a Patreon for years and years if you don't need it. If you want to support, that's fine. I totally get it. But by the same token, we here, me as far as I'm concerned, we got to understand that, like, are we in this to help men? Are we in this to help men, or are we just here to just kind of, squeeze our audience? No, yes, we do this to help men and to make money. But we need to understand that at some point, the little duckling, the little birdling has to leave the coop. So at some point, the puppy's got to be weaned. All right, little pup, I've taught you everything that I could teach you about the world and women. Go forth and use what you've learned. So yeah, if you don't need to watch Fresh and Fit anymore, congratulations. But I still do. And I'm Donovan fucking Sharpe. Panda Trucker right on cue with 10 memberships. Yolak Sage, Albert Shabaria, Tennessee Valentiner, oh boy, RM, Brandon Reed, Chocolope Ghost, Morgan Jones, Shane O'Maxey, and Demas. Sorry, guys. If all of you would put your age and location in the chat, as we round third and head for home. JCap says, Myron says it best, stereotypes are based on reality. Absolutely. Saito Hajime, hope I pronounced that correctly, says, never had a pair of Jordans. It's overrated, man. It's overrated. It's overrated, dude. Dude, don't get me wrong. I love Jordans. And I wanted to do something different. Bowling in a pair of Jordans, like real shit. But in the end, man, it really comes down to, I mean, look, I do well for myself. So, I wanted to, I've got a really nice collection of shoes, and, I figured, what? Why not turn them into a pair of bowling shoes? Chris on the YouTube side said, the real folk don't want to milk it. They want society to get better, and they're resourceful enough to work on something else happily when the time comes. Joel Breezy said, that's real. The goal is to learn. Keep listening until you don't need to. Right. And again, and look, I understand where Destiny's coming from. You have to keep it fresh. You have to keep it new, blah, 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 blah. This is why television shows evolve over time. But at some point you are going to lose interest. That's why, this is why The Simpsons finally ended, right? Like the longest running show, I think, in television history was The Simpsons. Most television shows, most super successful television shows last what? 5, 6 seasons, 8 to 10 at the very most. Because at some point you've done and seen all you need to do and see, Chris with the $10 super chat says, Don Lemon thoughts. Thanks for the show. Give me a second. Let me see why Don Lemon is trending. Don Lemon. Oh, so he interviewed Elon Musk. Yeah, Don Lemon. To me, Don Lemon is the typical wokety woke dude. He's the typical wokety woke. That's my opinion. I appreciate that super chat very much. Suffolk's Finest says, I got news for the haters. Donovan is married to a big titty white girl with a black woman's ass. That makes him the unofficial king of all the blacks. Ay, ay, ay. Don't say that too loud. Don't say that too loud. WCV LA says, yeah, I'm saying it was a good thing. I learned a lot from them, you and Rollo. I now have a small business and hopefully real estate in a couple of years. Then I want to open up some small businesses overseas. That's the goal. That's the goal. Absolutely. Joel Breezy says another thing they can do is take a break on Fresh and Fit and listen to more you. Take a break, go watch workout info, take a break, watch business, and cycle back to the RP. That's exactly right. That is exactly right, man. Wushu King says, must be awesome to pick up a chick with your bed right behind you in an 18-wheel rig. Hey, man. I will not confirm or deny that. That's what Panda Trucker does. You guys know how that goes. All right, guys. I am now going to transition to the dating show breakdown segment of today's live streams. So I'm going to be saying goodbye to every audience except for Sharp Stream and Rumble. If you want to continue watching, come to rumble.com/Donovan Sharpe. You will see the same thumbnail up there, and we are going to continue breaking down the reality dating show, Naked and Afraid of Love. Naked and Afraid of Love. Yeah, King Life says Shaniquas and Laquanas are going to come after Devin again. Hey, man, they can come after Devin all they want to, man. They know what it is. They know what it is. They hate her because they're not her. They hate her because they're not there. They hate her because they're not her. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.